it's time to move up to 155. I'm confident that Islam will accept it. I'm confident that we'll be fighting for that belt, but it's really not on us. It's on them. You know what I'm saying? That's kind of where we're at with it, if that makes sense.
Ilia Toria's manager pushes for an immediate title shot against Islam Makhachev, arguing that his undefeated record and past dominance prove he belongs in the lightweight division.
No one told us that we couldn't fight for the title. And to this day, no one has said that you're not fighting for the title. So, you know, I'll leave it there. I'll leave it there out of respect to everybody else on the other side and what they're trying to do or not do. You know what I mean? But nothing has been said. No one's told me, no, this is not happening. Let me just put it to you like that.
Ilia Toria's move to the UFC lightweight division has sparked discussions about his next fight with many, wondering if he will get an immediate title shot against the reigning champion Islam Makhachev. Topuria, who previously held the featherweight belt, decided to vacate his title in order to move up to 155 lbs, a transition that had been anticipated for some time due to his struggles with weight cuts.
We'll see what's going to happen. Me personally, what I want to do is to move up to the 155 because I know by fact that I can become a two-weight world champion. Because Islam, he's a great fighter. He's the #1 pound for pound for the people. For me, it's me, myself. I'm the best fighter in the world. So I know that I can do with him whatever I want to do because I know that I'm much better than him.
Following this announcement, the UFC revealed that former champion Alexander Volkanovski would face Diego Lopez for the now vacant featherweight title at UFC 314. However, what was noticeably absent from the promotion's plans was an official fight, for Topuria, leaving room for speculation about whether he would be granted a direct title opportunity or if he would need to first compete against another top lightweight contender.
I did not like the idea of Volkanovski for a world championship. I didn't think it was right. I believe he's 1 win, 3 losses in his last 4 contests. I know his last 2 times they needed smelling salts and a stretcher. To suggest that he could fight for a world championship, I just thought was false. And it's certainly not because I don't respect Volkanovski. This is one of the greats. But I had a hard time being fair about getting him in front of Diego Lopez. But now that Topuria's gone and Volk isn't getting in front of Diego Lopez, he's going to get in front of Diego Lopez. I love the idea. Not to mention, I don't know who I think's going to win the fight. This is a very, very interesting fight. Better get his out of there in the first 15 minutes. You do not want to go to championship rounds with Volkanovski, no matter what kind of a run you are, no matter how young you are, how good you are. Don't see Volkanovski in the 4th and 5th round if you still got business to do.
Topuria's manager, Mali Kawa, believes an immediate fight against Makhachev makes the most sense for both the UFC and the fans. He argues that Topuria, with his undefeated record and impressive finishes against elite fighters, has already proven himself as a top-tier competitor. According to Kawa, a matchup between Topuria and Makhachev would be one of the biggest fights the UFC could book at the moment, comparable in significance to a potential heavyweight clash between John Jones and Tom Aspinall. He also suggests that denying Topuria a title shot would be a missed opportunity for the promotion.
Chance Ilia Topuria is vacating his belt without a title fight in his next fight.
Well, I don't know if it even makes sense for them as a promotion to allow him to fight anybody else when he's a champion. And if we're being honest, this is probably the biggest fight you can make right now outside of Bones versus Aspinall. So I don't know if there's another fight out there that's bigger than this fight, unless there's something that I'm not aware of. Errol, you'd know better than me. You know what I'm saying? But this is the biggest fight you can make.
Topuria has demonstrated his dominance in the featherweight division, defeating former champions like Volkanovski and Max Holloway in emphatic fashion. His knockout victory over Holloway was particularly noteworthy as it marked the first time the former champion had ever been stopped in his career. Topuria has built significant momentum, and his ability to finish fights in spectacular fashion has drawn comparisons to the meteoric rise of Conor McGregor. Some believe that if he were to defeat Makhachev, especially by knockout, he could quickly become one of the sport's biggest stars.
Like any of these other guys aren't stars, but I'm talking about this guy then will start to reach that stratosphere that Conor got to, especially if he wins by KO. Especially if he wins by KO, because this guy's got that Mike Tyson-esque thing to him, and if he continues to fight this way, I just don't know how we're not looking at, you know what I mean, the same type of thing as Conor McGregor.
Despite this, not everyone is convinced that Topuria should be granted an immediate shot at the lightweight title. Makhachev and his team have expressed reservations about facing another fighter moving up from featherweight. Makhachev's manager, Rizvan Magouf, has stated that Topuria should first prove himself in the division before being considered for a title fight. He suggested that Topuria face a top contender like Dustin Poirier or Charles Oliveira in a #1 contender bout to earn his place in the division. He posted Topuria versus Dustin or Charles contender fight to prove he's legit lightweight, so we don't have to fight another small featherweight. We need a big fight that makes sense for everyone. We already gave chances to a featherweight champ. That was reigning for a long time. Makhachev's position on this matter is influenced by his previous experience fighting Volkanovski, who moved up from featherweight and was granted an immediate title shot. While Volkanovski put up a strong fight in their first encounter, Makhachev ultimately won both their bouts, and his camp seems hesitant to go through a similar situation again. Instead, they want to see Topuria establish himself as a legitimate lightweight before he gets a title opportunity.
You know, Ilia Topuria is talking about coming to 155, and you're like, I'm tired of these little people coming up to fight me.
That makes sense. Give the chance third time from the same guy. Okay, I beat the Volkanovski twice. People still say you beat small guy.
Yeah.
He's not your weight division. If I beat Topuria, it's gonna be the same. Everybody gonna talk same. If I go up, takes a second belt.
The UFC has not officially confirmed Topuria's next move, but UFC CEO Dana White has hinted that the Georgian-Spanish fighter may need to compete in a lightweight fight first. Chael Sonnen also believes that Topuria will likely have to go through another top lightweight contender before being granted a championship opportunity. Sonnen sees Oliveira and Arman Tsarukyan as the two key figures in this discussion, stating that either one of them could serve as a stepping stone for Topuria to prove he belongs in the lightweight division. Sonnen stated, Charles Oliveira and Arman Tsarukyan are in a battle, and the battle is for Ilia. Charles is not likely to go right into a title fight against Islam. The only reason I say that is that Islam wants some fresh blood. Ilia is not going to get a title shot, even though he would fit the request of being fresh blood. You've got Ramadan. According to Sonnen, Makhachev is looking for fresh challenges, and while Topuria technically fits that description, the timing of the fight might not be right, given that Makhachev will be observing Ramadan. There is a delay in scheduling his next title defense, which may push Topuria into a fight with someone else first. Sonnen believes that a win over Oliveira or Tsarukyan would make a potential Topuria versus Makhachev fight significantly bigger than it is now. While Topuria has proven himself as a dominant featherweight, Sonnen argues that he has yet to show he can handle the best lightweights in the world. He further added, Ilia is vacating and no mention of Ilia. It would look as though Ilia is going to have to do a fight first. Ilia versus Islam right now works, but it's not a massive fight. However, Ilia versus Islam, if Ilia defeats Charles first, is a completely different conversation. It can't go right now. You've got to have Ilia prove that he can do it, and that either takes you through Tsarukyan or it takes you through Charles. Ilia Topuria's decision to vacate his featherweight title and move up to the lightweight division has sparked significant debate within the MMA community. The undefeated fighter has made it clear that he wants an immediate shot at the lightweight belt, but not everyone believes he has earned it just yet. Among those pushing back against Topuria's request is Khabib Nurmagomedov, a longtime mentor to the current champion Islam Makhachev. Khabib has dismissed the idea that Topuria should receive an automatic title opportunity, emphasizing that he needs to prove himself first in the 155 lb division.
Ilia Topuria. He's saying, you know what, I want to go up to 155 pounds, fight the #1 contender, and then if he wins that, then he fights Islam. I think that's good, brother. I think he deserves.
I think if he move up and he beat somebody like Dustin Poirier or Charles Oliveira, he's next. Why not? Because there is nobody.
So you don't think right now Ilia deserves a shot at 155 pounds?
Without fighting in 155? Without, no, I don't agree. Because Islam already give chance, and people talk bad about like, oh, he fight 2 times with Volkanovski, but the UFC pushed this fight, and this fight was good in first fight. But why Islam have to give 3 times chance for 145 champion? Why? It's not fair for 155 pounds.
Right,
But if he move up and he beat somebody like Charles Oliveira, of course. You know what I think?
Yeah.
I think he can beat him.
Yeah. I like Charles, but I think so too.
No, I think
Ilia
can beat him.
However, not all former champions share Khabib's viewpoint. Michael Bisping believes Topuria has done enough to warrant a title shot. He sees Toria's dominance at featherweight as justification for a direct path to a championship opportunity at lightweight, arguing that his skills and accomplishments speak for themselves.
Habib Nurmagomedov came out and he said that he doesn't think that Topuria deserved the chance, not without proving himself first at 155.
Why Islam have to give 3 times chance for 145 champion? Why? It's not fair for 155 pounds.
Islam's already done that against people at 145, talking about Volkanovski. And yes, he did do that twice, and Volkanovski was the featherweight champion. However, this is a different scenario. Topuria has moved up, okay? He's abandoned 145, he's up to 155, and I think he deserves a title fight.
The debate over Toria's immediate title contention also revolves around Arman Tsarukyan, who is the current #1 lightweight contender and has been waiting for his shot at Makhachev after he missed his chance when he got injured before his fight against Makhachev at UFC 31. While many believe Tsarukyan should be next in line, Toria's growing star power and undefeated record make him an intriguing alternative. Makhachev has expressed interest in facing fresh challengers, and as speculation about his next opponent continues, the lightweight division remains one of the most competitive and exciting in the UFC.
You said that you're ready to go up a division. There's a tweet from Ilia Topuria that he can go up the weight and he can beat you with no problem. What do you think about that?
Не знаю, еще столько соперников, и все хотят меня там в первом, во втором раунде финишировать, все говорят об этом, но я же сказал, сделайте 70 килограмм, заходите в клетку и посмотрим, кто кого финиширует там.
There's all these opponents, they all say they want to finish me in the first or second round. I already said, if you can make 155, you can get into the cage. Let's talk about it then.
Aljamain Sterling has provided his own analysis of a potential fight between Topuria and Makhachev. He believes that while Makhachev would hold the advantage in wrestling and submissions, Toria's striking ability, speed, and use of calf kicks could make things difficult for the lightweight champion. Sterling sees the fight as highly competitive and acknowledges that both men possess impressive fight IQ and the ability to make adjustments inside the octagon. While he remains undecided on a winner, he is confident that a matchup between the two would be a thrilling contest.
Ilia Topuria, boxing speed, boxing punches. Ilia Topuria, calf kicks, which is a very dangerous weapon. I think Ilia Topuria uses those way better than Islam Makhachev. I don't think Makhachev really throws kicks like calf kicks or leg kicks. Wrestling, control, and submissions, I'm going to lean towards Islam Makhachev. Fight IQ, that's hard. Both guys are really, really good. I think they're neck and neck. It's hard for me to pick. Because I've seen both guys make adjustments in fights.
Matt Brown also weighed in on the matter. He advises Makhachev to avoid fighting another former featherweight, pointing out that 2 of his previous title defenses were against Alexander Volkanovski. Brown believes that Makhachev should be facing true lightweights instead of giving opportunities to fighters moving up from lower weight classes. He stated, he has earned the right to fight for a title in basically every division. What Ilia has done, I think he has earned the right to fight for a title in basically every division, but I agree that let him fight one guy first and earn the fight with Islam. Islam's teammate Bilal Muhammad believes that people want to see Islam lose because he is one of the best right now, and people wait to see the greatest fall. Talking about Ilia, Bilal said that if he beats someone like Oliveira or Poirier, then he deserves a title shot.
What are your thoughts on Ilia coming up and how lightweight looks with Islam kind of teasing or maybe moving up at some point?
Everybody's calling for Ilia. Then you look at the comments and all of them are like, well, he's only fought in featherweights. And then he goes out there and he beats Ilia. And
he's also scared of Ilia, according to those same people.
Exactly, right? And then he's going to go out there and he's like, oh, well, we told you that Ilia was too small. And Ilia could always go back down and say, oh, well, yeah, you know, it wasn't good enough for me. But for Islam, for him to keep building his legacy, people are going to they want to just see them lose, right? They want to see that team lose. And then you saw it with like Umar. It was such a good fight, such a close fight, but everybody's acting like he got killed because they just want to see that team lose. People hate greatness. People hate success, and they'd rather see you fail. But for Islam, they don't really care about that. They don't hear that noise. I think if Ilia goes out there and he fights like a Charles or even a DDP and he gets a win, there's no denying him, right? You have to get the title shot.
Robert Whitaker also praised Toria's abilities. He feels that many fans and analysts still don't fully appreciate how skilled Topuria is in all areas of the game. In his view, Toria's technical prowess in striking, wrestling, and jiu-jitsu makes him a well-rounded threat to Makhachev. He stated, "He is? But Ilia, I feel like Ilia, like people know he is good, but I don't think they know how good he is. You know what I mean? I feel like these people still don't realize, technically, he is so far above the game in terms of jiu-jitsu, wrestling, and pocket fighting, 'cause I think that's a fight that will put him on the map like a proper. He will take everything that Islam has. He is already on the map." Alexander Volkanovski, a man who has shared the octagon with both Makhachev and Topuria, has given his take on the potential super fight. He acknowledges Toria's knockout power but suggests that simply having a puncher's chance may not be enough to defeat a well-rounded fighter like Makhachev. He believes that Topuria needs to demonstrate more than just power if he wants to be seen as a legitimate threat to the lightweight champion.
The thing is with Ilia, he is a dangerous fighter and he can catch anyone. You know, if he goes there and he's stoic and he's, even if the fight's not going his way, he will not eventually get it, but he's going to keep trying to find it. Them later rounds are going to get harder for him, but, if he was to land, he could definitely knock him out. I think that's going to be hard to do. I think, Islam's a pretty safe fighter. I think the scrambling stuff, even if Ilia's takedown defense is solid, I still think them exchanges are going to be better off for Islam. But you can't count Ilia's power out. Them hands. He's going to be looking for that shot. Them early rounds, he's going to be very dangerous. So to say he's got no chance is silly, because you know what I mean. And that's how I've always, for myself as well, that's how I've always seen myself only getting beaten by someone catching me. I don't feel like anyone can actually beat me, but everyone has a chance of catching me. And I still believe that's the case now. But you've got some that are better chances than others, and Ilia has the better chance than most.
Dominic Cruz offered a different perspective. He believes Topuria has the necessary skills to dethrone Makhachev, particularly if he can dictate the range of the fight and keep the lightweight champion on his heels. Cruz argues that if Topuria can successfully defend against takedowns and control the striking exchanges, he has a strong chance of pulling off an upset. He stated, "He has the tools. It's keep it on the feet, dictate the range, and keep Makhachev on his heels. If you keep Makhachev moving back with good striking defense, and he's able to stuff a couple of the takedowns, I think he can get the momentum going in his favor and give himself a really good chance." Henry Cejudo sees Topuria as deserving of the fight against Makhachev. He believes that knocking out elite fighters like Volkanovski and Max Holloway should be enough to justify an immediate title shot. Cejudo also points out that Arman Tsarukyan was previously considered for the fight but was ultimately passed over, possibly because the UFC sees Topuria as a bigger draw and a more exciting matchup for Makhachev.
Ilia Topuria fighting Islam Makhachev, or should Ilia just fight Volk again?
I feel like Ilia deserves that, but it takes two to tango, and I don't feel like these Dagestanis, bro, even though they say anytime, anywhere, it's like Islam wants to make sure that Ilia deserves it. He wants him to go through the number one contender, as we talked about before. But if I had my choice, of course, Ilia, fight Islam Makhachev. Do I believe Ilia could beat Islam? No.
Jorge Masvidal has also spoken highly of Topuria's abilities. He describes Topuria as an exceptional talent and a future world champion, emphasizing his well-rounded skill set and natural athleticism. Masvidal believes that Topuria's power is comparable to that of a welterweight fighter, and that his technique will allow him to be successful in the lightweight division. He sees Topuria's move up in weight as a smart decision and believes that he has a strong chance of claiming another UFC title. He stated, He's like a little brother to me, and I've been saying for a long time that he'll be world champ. I didn't even know he beat Volkanovski and Max Holloway the way he did. Truly, he's a once-in-a-generation talent. You know, this kid I'm telling you is an exceptional young talent. He can grapple, strike, and never gets tired. Masvidal had high praises for Topuria, and further said, he's got a great shot at moving up in weight and winning belts too. I've trained. With many he hits like a 170 easily. His technique and natural skills will make him powerful. Justin Gaethje believes that Ilia is a fighter made for the 155 lbs division. He believes that Ilia is in the form of his career and super confident after wins over Volkanovski and Holloway, and joining the lightweight division will make him even more exciting. However, when asked if Ilia deserves a title shot against Makhachev, Gaethje didn't give a clear answer.
And I just wanted your thoughts on Ilia Topuria vacating the featherweight title and coming up to lightweight. Do you think he's built for lightweight?
Yeah, I think he's a fighter, you know, especially with the confidence that he has right now with those wins over Max and Volkanovski. I think, you know, confidence is the biggest factor when you step in there. You have to believe, you know, in yourself first and foremost. And so, yeah, I think just made the most exciting weight class in this sport a little bit more exciting.
Do you obviously, you know, if you go out there and finish physique, there's a good chance that you get the title shot, but do you believe Ilia should get a automatic title shot against Islam?
I don't know. Haven't thought about it.
Awesome.
It doesn't matter. Again, that's one of the things I can't control, so I'm not going to put a lot of thought and you know, energy into that.
As the discussion continues, the UFC has yet to confirm whether Topuria will receive an immediate title shot or if he will have to fight a top contender first. So what are your thoughts about this? Do let us know in the comment section below. If